got us. Go live.
That's kind of weird.
We got it.
Weirdly.
That's what we have to live with. Here we are. We're live. We are alive.
Alive.
At 5.
At 5. I don't know if I'm alive today. I'm tired today.
Last live at 5 from Pittsburgh.
Last live at 5 probably for 2 weeks, but we'll see because we won't have internet next week.
Ooh, yeah, next week's going to be a little bit challenging.
Yeah. So
we'll see.
Anyway.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Still got to work that out.
Yep.
So we're waiting for people to gather.
Okay.
We are live.
I want a carrot. How come it looks like gold? It looks like we're looking down there. Maybe this needs to be.
Do you want to change that?
Go ahead and put it back.
I know you'd be happy with it up there. That's really the best place for it.
Okay. Angie's Pantry. Hello. Kathy Woodhouse. Hello, both of you. Welcome. Let me chew my carrot now. That was really rude.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were doing. Pete knows. She's going to let me talk. She's going to chew on carrots.
Nervous. Hi, Sally Ann.
And Angie's Pantry. Let you see there. That is a better. Oh, that. What is better?
We're moving the camera.
Yes, we were. I liked it where it was. It works there.
All right. So
we asked for questions and we got one question.
We got a real question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
But well, wait a minute on the questions. Question. I've been packing all day.
All week.
And cleaning, pack and clean, pack and clean, pack and clean. And I've decided I don't want to clean the kitchen anymore because you clean it, you prepare your meal, you pack, and then it's time to make another meal. So you pull stuff back and
she's tired of cleaning the kitchen. And she has help too, but she's still tired of it.
Well, I'm tired of it. So we're going to have a meal tonight and a breakfast, and then that's all. We had to ask Angie, this is just a Q&A for anybody who wanted to ask us any questions. So if you have a question that you want to ask.
Yeah, we were hoping for pre-asked questions so we could think about them.
We got one that we're going to answer in just a little while when the person is on here. Yeah, I know you're new to ours. I haven't seen you on here before, Kathy. I'm new to these chats. How do I get sound? Ooh.
People respond. Nothing happened. I'm feeling old-fashioned here.
Come on, tech person.
I'm not exactly sure what'd be going on. So.
Are you turned up?
So this is for Kathy, who apparently is having some trouble hearing us. I guess we have to type in here if she can't hear us.
Yeah, go ahead and type.
Keep talking.
Okay. I'll keep talking. Yes, I actually sat down on the couch today, turned on the TV, and went to sleep because my body's tired of working. So it's been like a long job. But tomorrow we will be packing up the trailer at this time. So, okay. So Angie's telling her to
refresh.
Have
that
to
could
refresh
be, yeah.
and turn up your sound. And
sometimes you may have multiple options for sound. So your little sound gadget, I think that light, shutting that light off will help. Sometimes you might have to click on the little icon for your sound, and you'll have a couple of choices for how your sound is heard. If you use a headset, you may have your headset plugged in and not listening to it. You may not have your speakers turned on. I'm just going over all the possibilities. So
okay, so Marianne is on, and Mary is on, and Roan's Leather is on. Okay, when do we get to
I just said all those things to Kathy, and she doesn't ever sound working. That was
what will be your first animal on your new homestead?
Our dog.
Yeah.
Probably raccoons and a few birds. But
Chickens,
you mean livestock, right?
chickens.
Oh, okay. It's going to be chickens. Going to be chickens.
We're going to try to find some chickens that are full grown to begin with so that we can start them working
Not
for
roosters.
us. Not roosters.
We don't need that kind of work.
We don't do roosters. I was attacked by a rooster at our last homestead. We are very excited about the move, and we had another question about what our personal garden is going to be like, and so we will tell you about that. And we thought that we would show you a picture of what our homestead is going to look like, part of it. And then on Friday, on our video that we're putting out on Friday, because we're going to be traveling, we've made it ahead of time. And we kind of done a summary of the last 6 months of when we walked away from our other homestead and all of our looking and where we've been going. And then we actually, when we were there in Missouri on our property, we made a video to show when we got back. And so we're showing
with hoping that it actually came about, which it appears that it's going
to.
It is.
So Kat, yeah. We bought the first hens off of
She hasn't answered back, so I don't know. Maybe she dropped off. It's hard to say. It's too bad.
Okay. So I'm going to do it like this. Yeah.
Ooh, cute. I love it. So this is a picture that was sent to us from the owner. He was there doing some stuff one day, and he texted this to us from his phone. He was pretty happy about the trees that are there. So that's out by the barn.
Yep. Pretty cool. So there it is. That might be a little. There it doesn't have a reflection.
No reflections.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that tree.
We love the barn too.
Yeah.
We're very excited about the barn.
Very, very useful. I mean, we haven't had a structure like that on property before. And so it's got a lot to it. I mean, it's got the barn, the entrance that you see, which is a big enough area to park some pretty big gadgets. Right now, they're keeping some of those large hay bales in there.
Yes.
Has a small loft. It has, I think it's a workshop area on one side. It's a huge
workshop.
And then the other side are some stalls.
Has the tack room.
And then in the back, it has an area that
for milking our
it's
cow.
Like a manger area, large, but it's enclosed and protected and a great place to milk. So
yeah. So this place had me at barn. I looked at it and immediately was just like,
So what kind of tree is that?
You know what?
Asking.
I thought it might be a Navajo willow. I don't know if Navajo willows bloom like that. So when I saw it before it bloomed, and our seller was very kind and called us up and said, hey, you probably want to see a picture of this. And so he took a picture of it for us because it was going to snow there again and it would be green by the time we get there. So that was really kind
now
of
he
him.
did say that there was some dogwoods out. There's a little stream that runs through the bottom part of the land, and there's some dogwoods out there blooming. So the blooms on this and the timing of it are similar to dogwood. So I don't know if this is not a dogwood.
No, absolutely not.
Okay. This is absolutely not a dogwood.
We're moving to Missouri, Angie, and we're moving to the southwest part of Missouri. And hello, Green Gables. We'll show you the picture.
And we'll show it again and again and again.
So that's our picture. So don't worry, we'll cater to everybody.
Yep. And like she said on Friday, they're going to be there's actually one or two videos you put in there.
I put a video in it that.
Did you do the one from the pond as well as the one in the yard?
No, I did not.
Okay,
I did not.
Okay.
All right. So a couple of questions about what kind of chickens. So at first we're going to get some older chickens, and then we will also be ordering.
We hope. We don't know that we'll find them, but you know what?
You could always find them.
You know, a lot of times, especially this time of the year, when people who have chickens that they're replacing with younger ones, they don't want to process them because they're really not the best quality for meat typically as they get older. And so they're not laying 100%. They're, maybe 50%, So for us, that's probably fine if we get a small flock of those, because we want them for the eggs, but we also want them to prepare the ground. So it doesn't matter what age they are. They still eat food and put out poop. That's what we're looking for. Plus, they scratch the ground. The older ones do a better job of scratching the ground. So we'll put them to work. But that'll at least have us using them and having their eggs early on. And then we will, once we get the brooder up and going, get a batch of chicks. Yay,
Kathy said it's working and she can hear us.
Oh, good. Glad you made it in, Kathy.
Okay, so we also will get Delawares again. We love the Delaware chickens because we will have children and grandchildren on this
They're
property.
so gentle.
They're so gentle with the children. And we will get a goose this time which aren't gentle with children.
I don't know if you get a gentle goose.
So we want a goose guard dog.
But what we liked a lot about the Delaware it was their temperament. I mean, they were very docile. Although when we combined them with the Rhode Island Reds we had, they kind of ruled the roost. I mean, they were older and larger, and so they really...
Well, it was their house.
It was their house. So actually, we moved them into the Rhode Island Red house, and they kind of took over. But they're a larger bird than a Rhode Island Red, for instance. So we were concerned that they'd be larger eaters, but they were great foragers, and they did not eat that much. We could keep food in their container for a long time. It would, they would eat a little, but they foraged a lot. What's your reading?
Angie has dogs that fertilize her yard. Finally,
do they dig as well?
Oh, she's up in Michigan, so yeah, she's had some snow. We just have a little Bichon right now that. Come here, Oliver. Come here.
Oh, you're going to get to meet Oliver. He's our photo bomber. As you watch the videos, typically he finds his way into the videos.
We're looking at getting an Akbash dog.
Yeah, once we have more animals there that need some protection, actually we need to get him early so he gets used to them as a baby. But that's what we're going to do. He's going to grow up. She grow up with what we have and be very protective of what's
Oliver's 11 years old. He's just part of us. So he's the indoor dog for sure. One of your dogs is a digger.
Yeah. That's a breed of dog, right? It's the kind that has 2 ears and a large snout.
Yeah. We had diggers. We had a Pyrenees border collie, and
he could dig.
He was big. He put his hands up here though,
and looked down at me. He's a big guy.
So the garden that we're going to have for our personal garden, that was the question we got: is what are we doing for our personal garden? Are we having raised bed or are we having wood chip? We are not doing wood chip. We did it last time. Some. Well, what we do is the 30-inch bed that JM40A or Curtis Stone do. It's just so much easier to jump over.
Yeah.
18 inches in between.
The 30-inch because of the standardization of so many of the tools that are out there and that we're going to be using.
Your video just became unavailable.
Who's that?
All of them. Right here and right here. Refresh. Oh, Green Gables has it.
Okay. That's an internet thing. So,
okay.
But the 30-inch beds, there's so much standardization in equipment, row covers, on and on, that it makes sense to do that. So that's what we're going to standardize on. But with the layout of the property in the yard, we're going to start close to the house. That's where our first gardens are going to go in. And there are some parts to it to where it's not going to be 30-inch bed. For instance, Rhenda will tell you about the driveway area.
So in the driveway, it's a circular driveway. So in the center, we're going to do kind of a design where you can walk through the paths. But also, we're going to do a wood chip garden there. And what we're going to do is our perennial things that will stay. So we'll have perennial flowers, but we're also going to have asparagus, the rhubarb, some other
perennial
plants
yet to be decided. So.
And
so Kathy's saying that they've started some things indoors. They're in Wisconsin, so they're still waiting a bit. We actually started some items indoors here, and some of it was lettuce, and we've eaten some of it actually. There's a little bit that we have some herbs and a few other items that we are actually taking with us. So, but we've been growing them.
I've been using my herbs
stand by the window with extra lights on them, and like I say, we've eaten some of the lettuce.
Yeah. So. Spinach, no. Spinach just doesn't go.
We got to learn about spinach. There's, we have it bolting right now, if you can believe that. So we a little bit too much heat inside, I think. So,
so right in front of the house, we're going to have kitchen garden that goes right there, and then the other garden will be right there.
Yeah, you got that right.
I got that. And then behind us. Behind our house is where we're going to do our market garden. So that will be cool. Rhubarb, asparagus, and strawberries together. Very good.
Yeah, yeah.
I just saw somebody planting their rhubarb and strawberries together. And I mean, not the rhubarb, the asparagus and the strawberries together. And I thought that was wonderful. So Green Gables, you've had good luck with growing those. How long have they been? Have they been there longer than a year together? Is I guess my question.
Yeah, great question. That can I talk about the food forest?
Yes.
Okay. On the north side of our house, there's an area that's fenced off, separate from the rest, and it's along the driveway that is about 5 acres, maybe a little bit less than that. And we're going to turn that into a food forest. We're going to start close to the house and year by year expand it out. To take up as much of the 5 acres as we can, but just a vast variety of items, most of which are going to be food forest focused. So from trees to bushes to smaller plants to ground cover kinds of plants, as many of them food related as we can. Yeah. So it's going to be a real.
You have nitrogen fixers, but then you have the food.
So in there. Combination of fruits, nuts, and whatever else we can.
This is her 3rd year for her perennial.
Oh wow! Okay.
So, and Kathy has planted basil from seeds and has a lot of those.
Yeah, I actually had a nephew. We were visiting him.
Time to sow. I love that. What a cool title that is.
It's Time and Sow as in gardening.
I love that. That's a sweet name.
Anyway, our nephew he has some seeds that he got. Where did he say he got those seeds? Can't remember. Anyway. These are the seeds right here.
Elderberries.
But they're elderberries. So I think he actually harvested them. They have some elderberry bushes on they live in town here in Pittsburgh, but they have a fair amount of yard. But he harvested these seeds. So I'm going to try elderberries from seed. That ought to be a challenge. But
hello, Linda. So I want to go back to Time to Sow. This is their first year to do asparagus, and she's the only one in the family that likes it. But you're right. Everybody will start liking it when you grow it yourself.
Oh, it'll be better, but to watch it grow. I know our grandkids who are in Oregon, Washington area, when we got them, their mom started growing some tomatoes one year. I mean, they don't like tomatoes at all. The kids hated tomatoes. They grew tomatoes. They loved them. They go out and pick them off the bush and eat them. They thought it was great. So yeah, it's expose kids to real vegetables and they think they're candy.
I'm reading Linda. She's written quite a bit more. So
okay.
Like garden beds. So you don't use deep mulch on your planting. We used some of the wood chips last year, and we really did have to supplement them with the blood meal because our food got really peaked, but then our garden just went nuts after that. So it was really good.
Yeah.
I broad forked the beds and the chickens have gone in and turned it over, fluffed it up.
Yes, they do.
Kathy says, I'm having to share my garden with my in-laws and a friend of theirs because we live in town right now and don't have enough yard.
Yep.
Yeah. So thought it might work to have someone else.
Well, the trick always is to make use of what you have. And there are a lot of creative ways that you can do that. we've known folks who would do container garden, even like if you have a flat roof, you can do it up on the roof, but maybe along your alleyway, just looking for places. But taking a cue from people like Curtis Stone, the urban gardener, to find other people's property where they're not using it, and they would just assume it was being gardening, share a little bit with them, and have that as a place where you can grow. So lots of possibilities.
So we got some great comments here. First of all, thank you, Marilyn, for enjoying our videos. We appreciate that. I would like to know what the basil blend is that Angie has. And Kathy says that for asparagus, if you season it with a Montreal steak seasoning and olive oil and put it on the grill, that sounds good.
I like it.
Tabby Lynn, her grandsons eat tomatoes like apples.
Yes.
Marianne says the best species of elderberry is that. Sabicus nigra.
Yeah.
If you can get that, I'm not sure I spelled it right. Well, I'm not sure I said it right.
But he wasn't sure what type this was.
And we don't know, if you plant them from seeds.
Now, Marianne, we have no experience with elderberry, and you've had some experience, so we're just curious, is it easy to start it from seeds, or is it better to just get a clipping from someone else and start a cultivar? So that's kind of what we suspect is the case. So we're going to look around and find some good sources of the cultivars. But if starting it from seeds is better, then we'll do that. Because we know that there is a large farm not far from us that they grow a lot of different kinds of elderberries. I mean, they're doing it commercially. So I'm sure we're going to have some great sources of elderberries.
So this is interesting. Time to Sow says that she's going to do wood chips for the first time, but she's a little bit worried because she's in the South and wood chips attract fire ants. When we lived in Mississippi, I experienced fire ants. So those are not fun.
That's the interesting thing about solutions. Every solution has its good and its bad, and some solutions work better in some climates than in others. And you're right, you really have to find what's going to work for you. And I know weed control is the real question, and you have to do that some ways, and wood chips are not the only solution. They're a good one. A lot of people really live by them, and they think they're the greatest thing, but they're not perfect.
Yeah. Angie was talking about her grandniece, eating tomatoes and cucumbers, and there was none left for Auntie Angela. So,
yeah.
One of the things we're going to do is do an experiment with because we raise broiler chickens, and when we had them before, we were able to sell all of them. And so what we're going to do is an experiment with we use John Siskovich's chicken tractors. That's what we make. And we're going to put our Freedom Rangers in one and our Cornish cross in another. We don't love Cornish cross at all. I think they're eating machines and not normal animals, but we've never raised them outside in a chicken tractor. And so we're going to raise them side by side and see how they taste, how their texture is, and what their price is. So that's one thing that we'll be doing out there too.
So what does that mean? That's
Radine.
Oh, Radine. We're still learning about elderberries. Others may know. I know there are some that are, and I think it is some of the red ones aren't as good, aren't as beneficial, but I could be wrong.
And Marianne says that one is really medicinal. Yeah. The Sambucus nigris is.
But I was doing some reading, and if I understood what I was reading, a lot of those that have the red berries tend not to. I don't know if there was a problem with them, and they're just not as good. The taste isn't as good. But from a medicinal standpoint, I don't know if they're less or more. So a little bit of research. The information's on the internet. I don't know if you can believe it all, but there's a lot there.
So YouTube's having some difficulties because everybody's having to keep refreshing here. We're only on here for 5 more minutes. We hold ours to 30 minutes only. So hopefully you can see us. Angie says, Wanda from Deep South Homestead lives in Mississippi, and they cannot do the Back to Eden garden because of that reason. So we'll have to see. That's really good to know, to share that. I don't know what they have in Missouri, so we will see. I know there's all kinds of critters there we're not used to. Marianne says the first year in wood chips, try growing your legumes to help nitrogen come back. That's wonderful idea. Yeah. We grew we grew some green beans, and I love green beans, and we had a critter in there that ate the plant to pieces. We just had little sticks hanging out of the ground. So yeah. Let's see. QBI Faith, hello. She's able to join us for a live chat. Good, thank you. And time to grow. I follow DSH, Angie, and that's why I am concerned. So, okay. Oh, the Deep South Homestead. Yeah. So, so I would just, if you're concerned about that, I would just do a very small area to begin with, because my experience with fire ants was instant. I walked down to the mailbox in my sandals, reached around, grabbed it out of the mailbox, grabbed it back, and I was attacked that fast. And I don't know how long that bite lasted.
I'm curious if you have experience with doing some of the covering where you put like heavy plastic or something over it to suppress the weeds, if that tends to gather things like fire ants and other critters when you pull it off. I know in northern climates, it's not a problem. It's a great way to get rid of the weeds and prepare the soil. Do you have issues if you cover it like that for a few months, and when you pull it off, do you have surprises under there?
So much to learn about. Do chickens eat fire ants? Have no idea.
There's not much chickens don't eat.
I haven't dealt with fire ants since Mississippi, and that was 45 years ago.
I do know our first year in Oregon, we had a large amount of wasps, and then after the chickens had been out there,
it just went blurry and back in.
After the chickens had been free ranging for the year, the next year the wasps were there, but not in such a large quantity. We didn't have a problem with them.
Green Gable says her chickens don't mess with them.
Really?
They're mean beasts. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Okay. So fire ants is something we don't want to have.
No.
So what do you do with your fire ants? How do you get rid of them?
Kerosene. Remember, we threw kerosene down and lit a match. I know that I won't be able to plant for probably 2 years, so covering with thick black plastic is something I plan on doing.
Yep.
What about the quails? Oh, we want to do quails. I was just watching Wholesome Roots today, and they had hatched their quails and are showing how to raise them from little babies, and she showed all the steps. So that is definitely something we want to do. So for those of you who came on late or may not have seen it,
it's kind of black. I think you might want to get it running. Did it turn off?
Well.
She's going to show you a black picture.
Never mind. You don't get to see it. It went black. Maybe I can get it back just before we say goodbye.
So one comment on here about being encouraged to move back to the land and grow own food, and watching us and our enthusiasm about it is helping you decide to do that. That's really a big part of the message that we want to communicate to everybody is, just because you're a little older doesn't mean you have to give up. If you have dreams, dream them, do them, find a way.
So go, and if you have not subscribed to our blog, go to hardinessapproach.com and subscribe to our newsletter. And you can get our newsletter every morning, every Friday morning. And we do a blog every week. And this one this week is about achieving your dreams, despite the fact that you may be in your 60s.
Or more.
So this is our part of our homestead that we got pictures to take of you.
So it's looking from like the house out towards the barns and the area that's out there.
So, and then let's see. Nothing works like for fire ants. I try to not disturb their beds. So Holly says good luck with our trip. And
Yeah, we want to know what kind of a tree it is too. Green Gables. We're gonna have to find out. I mean, this.
It's gorgeous. So anyway, we appreciate you. We had like a whole different type audience today. So, I mean, some of you have been here before, but lots of people who haven't been on before, and a great conversation. So next week, we most likely will not be having our live on Wednesday because we are getting there on Wednesday and we won't have internet yet. So we get it on Thursday, hopefully. So thank you very much. We are excited to share our journey with you.
And yes, we are excited to be there. It really hit home when, what was that I had to do the other day? I had to do something that had to do with the address and
we changed all our addresses today.
Yeah, so it's finally hitting, this time next week we're going to be there.
He scraped his plate down the disposal and said, "It'll be so nice to be able to give this to the chicken." And we will talk with you soon. Goodbye.